Live from WTVO 17 and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
It's been a tough year and a half, as it's been for everybody, as we all know. So any little bit can help.
A local organization aimed at helping abused and neglected kids takes on a new spin to their annual run. And if running isn't your style, we have some golfing tips to help prevent injury as you dust off your clubs. And both Democrats and Republicans push back on President Biden's infrastructure plan, how lawmakers are trying to reach a compromise. Good evening, I'm Alexis Carpello. An 18-year-old in Chicago is facing murder charges, accused of shooting and killing a 7-year-old in a McDonald's drive-thru last weekend. Kate Kogirin spoke with the little girl's grandmother. She says she's grateful a suspect is behind bars, but knows more work needs to be done.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Chicago's top cop with a warning to those involved in the murder of 7-year-old Jaslyn Adams.
We are going to bring you to justice for this crime. The Adams family deserves nothing less.
Chicago police announced today one of the suspects in connection with Adams' murder has been charged. Tonight, 18-year-old Marion Lewis now faces more than a dozen felony charges, including first-degree murder and attempted murder. Lewis was arrested after leading officers on a dramatic chase on I-290 just days ago. Police say he crashed into the side of the highway before he tried to carjack another family's vehicle. Lewis was shot in the arm after Illinois State Police say he shot at CPD officers. Detectives now saying there were 2 guns recovered from Thursday's scene.
Both those weapons that were on his person that were recovered, they did test positive to the murder weapons used at the scene to kill Jaslyn.
The 7-year-old girl was shot and killed last Sunday while in a car with her dad at a Westside McDonald's drive-thru. Investigators say there were other suspects involved in the shooting and that her father was the intended target.
It's just like a nightmare, I haven't woke up from.
Adam's grandmother says these new charges bring the family one step closer to justice, but says full closure won't come until all responsible for taking this little girl's smile away are caught.
Tanya stepped in. That was a 7-year-old girl. She had nothing to do with that at all. If you have any heart, if you have a heart, if you have a child, just think about your family.
That was Kate Kogirin reporting. Runners hit the trails this morning to raise money for an organization that helps give children a voice. Winnebago County CASA hosted their 37th annual Heritage Run. The event was held virtually last year because of the pandemic. This year, there were some new features. Runners took their marks at Midway Village and either ran for 5 or 2 miles. Organizers tell us running the path isn't just good exercise, but helps raise money for kids in the court system.
It just means a lot that, people are willing to, during these uncertain times, are still willing to help out and show up and participate.
More than 100 runners showed up for the Heritage Run this morning. For more information about CASA, find this article at mystateline.com. Illinois health officials report over 2,000 more cases of COVID-19 today, including 24 more people dying from the virus. There are no local deaths. Statewide, the rolling test positivity rate sits at 4%. Over 2,000 individuals are battling the virus in hospitals across the state. Our region, Region 1, now sits just below 6%. Most counties did drop from yesterday. Boone County is the highest, just above 9%, with Lee County the lowest, just under 2%. Winnebago County sits at 7.5%. More than 8.8 million vaccines have been given throughout Illinois. Yesterday, over 74,000 Illinois residents rolled up their sleeves for a dose. The weekly rolling average of vaccines is over 107,000. Today, the Winnebago County Health Department welcomed residents without appointments at the community vaccination site. 300 shots were available. It was a first-come, first-served basis. If you're looking to get your dose scheduled, we'll have a link to register at mystateline.com. Six Flags Great America is officially open for all of you thrill seekers. The park welcomed back visitors on Saturday. If you're planning to visit, reservations online are necessary to get in. There will be temperature checks. Masks are required for anyone 2 years and older. Great America isn't the only attraction that's back in the land of Lincoln. The Sky Deck at Willis Tower is once again open for those who aren't afraid of heights. And shows are also back on at Medieval Times in Schaumburg. The reopenings are hopeful news for everyone.
It was a hard 2020, but we are so glad, to just put that behind us, start looking forward and opening our doors.
Magic Waters is set to open for the season at the end of May. Warmer days are ahead means more time for golfers to hit the greens. Health experts say before taking your first couple of swings, it's important to get your body ready for the long season. From the swings to walking a 9 or 18-hole course can be challenging at the start of the season. So one local athletic trainer says flexibility is key. He shares ways to get yourself ready.
You could start pretty slow right now, start with some cardio. I mean, if you're going to be, whether you're going to be walking or you're going to be riding, you're still going to be doing a whole lot of cardio work during a game of golf. Then if you have a gym membership and you're just slacking on it, I would start going. Just you can do 30, 40 minutes a day for 3 to 4 days a week, and then you can amp that up as you like. But overall strength and mobility and flexibility in the body is super important in the game of golf.
Smith says giving yourself a 10 to 15-minute warm-up can help decrease injury as well. President Biden's infrastructure plan is dealing with tough pushback from both sides of the aisle. What some Democratic and Republican lawmakers have to say about the plan.
A little dip in our temperatures this afternoon as we stayed in the 50s, but we will soon see those numbers climb rather quickly tomorrow. Find out how warm we get this week and where some of the heaviest of the rain could come down. All coming up in your most trusted forecast a little later.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Alexis, Carpello, David Greenberg, and Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
President Biden's infrastructure plan is facing strong resistance from Republicans and even some Democrats. Our Washington correspondent Basil John reports on efforts to find a compromise plan that can pass in the even divided U.S. Senate. He's keeping you connected to the nation's capital.
Republicans are confident their infrastructure plan is more targeted and addresses the country's needs. And now the president's plan faces another obstacle from within his own party.
That's a good start.
On CNN's State of the Union, West Virginia Democratic Senator Joe Manchin says the Republican $600 billion infrastructure plan is the way towards bipartisanship.
I'm glad they did it. This is the way we start negotiations. They've put their best foot forward, but it's a starting point.
Manchin says he cannot support President Biden's $2.3 trillion plan. Like many Republicans, Manchin says it's too big.
Because when you start putting so much into one bill, which we call an omnibus bill, makes it very, very difficult for the public to understand.
Watch Joe Manchin. Joe's going to be a key player here.
South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham told Fox News Sunday there's no way Republicans will support a $2 trillion bill.
85% of it's got nothing to do with infrastructure.
The president wants to pay for his plan by raising taxes on the richest Americans and on big corporations. West Virginia Republican Senator Shelley Moore Capito is one of the sponsors of the smaller Republican infrastructure plan.
So I think we've got some really good ideas that don't incorporate raising any taxes, but simply looks at the users and the consumers of infrastructure and says, let's pay with this.
Capito told CNN State of the Union that the White House is talking with her about the Republican plan, and she says there is a path towards bipartisanship. Reporting in Washington, I'm Basil John.
Coming up later in sports, the Cubs and Brewers wrapped up their series from Wrigley Field today. David says it ended up being quite the pitcher's duel. Plus, warmer weather may be ahead of us. Candice will tell us more in her full first warn weather forecast next. You're watching Eyewitness News at 5.
Now, your first warn weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
You know, we had some sunshine out there earlier today. Temperature is a little cooler than where we were yesterday, thanks to a cold front coming in yesterday evening. With our skies turning a little more cloudy today, we've had a couple of showers try to show up on radar, but we've still got a decent spread between that temperature and that dew point, which means we've got a little bit more dry air. So outside of a couple of sprinkles here within the next hour or two, I think that is going to be be it. You can see a couple of lighter showers or at least some sprinkles showing up from west of Monroe down through Freeport out towards Rydot, and then once you get in towards Forest and Byron, and then just to the northwest here of Rochelle. Again, these are not going to amount to much. We'll hang on to that cloud cover for the next couple of hours, but then our skies clearing out or at least turning partly cloudy here tonight. These showers are a result of actually some warmer air situated just to the southwest. And you can see where that warm air sits, from temperatures that were in the 40s and the 50s today to the 60s, 70s, close to 80 degrees out towards the plains. And that's the air mass that'll work in our direction behind that warm front tomorrow afternoon and for Tuesday. Locally, our numbers sit in the upper 40s and low 50s at 49 in Freeport, 48 in Monroe, 53 now in Rockford, and 51 in Rochelle. We've had a bit of a breeze coming in from the east and northeast today as high pressure kind of works down the other side of Lake Michigan. 51 for Ken and Belvedere, 52 in Ben and South Beloit, and 50 degrees with that cloudy sky north of Forston for our weather watcher Mike. A live look with a Mercial Sky Track camera here out in Freeport at the Park Hills Golf Course. You see the cloud cover again, couple of sprinkles as the flag kind of whipping a bit in the wind. Winds will die down a little this evening. That warm front still staying to the southwest of us tonight, so temperatures will dip back into the 30s, but actually hold steady because we'll hang on to a southeasterly wind. Notice that sprinkle or light shower chance through about 7, 8 o'clock this evening. Anything that is expected to come down then for the overnight, staying mostly to the north of us. There we could see some sleet and even some lighter rain showers north of the state line. A couple of clouds will spill over into tomorrow morning, but generally a partly cloudy day. One downfall to tomorrow, it is going to get windy. Winds will be coming in from the south and then eventually the southwest at about 35, could come close to 40 miles per hour. So it is going to be a windy day. Just expect that winds will increase late morning and then through the afternoon, but we should stay dry tomorrow. Tomorrow night we are going to stay dry. Temperatures very mild too, as we're now well within that warmer air. Temperatures only down to about 60 degrees, which will help springboard us into the low 80s on Tuesday. First half of the day on Tuesday going to stay dry, but then there's a cold front that comes in overnight Tuesday into Wednesday. You can see that front coming through Wednesday morning. That'll increase our chance for some showers and a couple of thunderstorms as we head throughout that time going into Wednesday. But right now looks like some of that heaviest rainfall actually going to stay south along that cold front. So you're looking from Missouri into central Illinois, and then rainfall totals that could come close to an inch in Wisconsin. For us, we might be sandwiched between those two. We need the rain. We've only had this month 1.64 inches of rainfall. We had some showers come down yesterday, but they did not amount to much. Our normal 2.7 for this time of year. So that puts us over an inch deficit of where we should be. It's getting dry. While we could have a couple of showers and a few thunderstorms with this next system, things then drying out once that does pass. 38 degrees, that's where our temperature will hold steady tonight, warming up to 74. That'll be for tomorrow afternoon. Winds gusting in. Hey, the sun comes up here before 6 o'clock. 81 on Tuesday. Showers, thunderstorms Tuesday into Wednesday. We'll hang on to that chance for Wednesday, Thursday. Little dip in the temperatures, but then we could see highs right back into the 70s by next weekend.
All right, thanks, Candice. David Greenberg is in next with sports. The White Sox offense continues to flourish as it did today against the Texas Rangers. Those highlights and more right after the break.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with David Greenberg.
The Cubs and Brewers both looking to take the series after splitting games 1 and 2 from Wrigley Field. It was Jake Arrieta against Brandon Woodruff on the mound today. Brewers had a 1-0 lead in the fourth, but the Cubs have a runner in scoring position, and that's one way to end an inning here. Chris Bryant strikes out Omar Narvaez, throws him out, threat neutralized. How about this heads-up play here from Nico Horner? Little blute fly ball to second. He lets it drop, picks it up, then throws to first for the out. Then they've got him in a rundown a few throws later, and they've got the double play. Then in the ninth, the Brewers make the Cubs bullpen look like the Cubs bullpen of last year. 2 runs will come home on a base knock by Luis Urias. The Cubs end up losing this one 6-0 despite a strong start from Jake Arrieta. And over on the south side, Jose Abreu gets the Sox on the board in the bottom of the first with a bomb to left field. That gave him the 2-0 lead. Michael Kopech got the start on the bump, and what a line he had today. 5 innings, 1 run, 10 strikeouts, and no walks. Then, in the third, Nick Madrigal delivers with a couple runners in scoring position. That gets down in left center. That's an easy 2-run triple for Madrigal to blow this thing open. The White Sox beat the Rangers 8-4. The Blackhawks signed defenseman Riley Stillman to a 3-year deal earlier today that will keep him with the team through the 2023-24 season. Stillman was acquired from the Panthers back on April 8th. The Hawks were off this week and not practicing either yesterday or today as they hope to recharge those batteries before tomorrow's series with the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Ice Hogs picked up a 5-3 win last night over the Wild out in Iowa thanks to DJ Buesdecker, who had 2 goals in the contest. The Ice Hogs record now sits at 9-14-1. They'll be back in action on Wednesday as they take on the Grand Rapids Griffins. And the 2 teams will travel back to Rockford for a game on Saturday, May 1st. Nikola Vucevic and Kobe White had big games last night. Kobe had 31 points and Vuce had 26 to go along with 14 rebounds, but the Bulls dropped another game, this time to the Heat. Zach LaVine is still out of the lineup in the league's health and safety protocols. The Bulls are now in 11th in the East with a 25-35 record. What once was high playoff hopes seem to be slipping out of their hands as the end of the season quickly approaches.
That's our goal. We want to have a chance to play the postseason. It's a lot. It's like, you got to come ready to compete. We play them again, Monday. It's a must-win game for us, so we got to come out ready to compete. We know that, so we just got to get ready for Monday.
The Geico 500 took place at Talladega this afternoon. Scary moment here at the end of the stage 2 as Joey Logano's number 22 car gets bumped from behind. He goes airborne, then Logano lands right side up, thankfully, but his day would be done from there. This one ended up going to overtime for a short 5-lap stretch, but in the end it was Brad Keselowski taking home the win at Talladega. He led for 1 lap the entire race, but it was the only lap that mattered. His 6th win at Talladega ties the great Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt Jr. That's it for sports. We'll be right back.
Candice is back with one last look at our forecast, and warmer weather is ahead for us.
Yeah, we can focus on the warmer weather after our temperatures today were a little cooler. It was nice to have the sunshine, but you probably noticed the difference between yesterday and today if you were out the window.
I saw an 80 on the graphic, so that's all I'm excited about. I don't care if it's storms
in.
or whatever. I'm just excited for the 80 that's on the
You're
graphic.
just focused on that, yeah, too, and a little muggy come middle of the week, and we've got a chance for a couple of showers here over the next few days. Now, our first WARN interactive radar here for us this evening shows some of that shower activity moving in, but we are still pretty dry. So outside of a couple of sprinkles or maybe a very brief shower, that will be pretty much it. You might get a steadier shower where you see some of that darker green showing up. So let's say right around Pecatonica, north of Rydot there in eastern Stevenson County and moving north of Winnebago. You might notice a little bit of a steadier shower coming down. We need the rainfall. We had a couple of showers come in yesterday with a cold front that came through, and while some just had a few sprinkles, there were some steadier rain showers towards the early evening yesterday. We've had just a little over 1.5 inches of rain for the month of April. It's dry out there. A lot of farmers getting out in the fields, kicking up a lot of dust as they work the field, or even the planters kicking up some dust, so we do need the rain as we're a little over 1 inch of a deficit from where we should be, and we're actually approaching 2 inches here since March 1st, same thing since January 1st. Again, sprinkle or 2 tonight. We'll clear out a little bit. We'll call it a partly cloudy sky down to 38 degrees. Winds will stay from the southeast, and that'll actually hold our temperature fairly steady going into the morning tomorrow. There's that 80-degree day on Tuesday, 74 for tomorrow. It'll be dry, but it is going to be windy, so just be prepared for that. Winds could be gusting at about 35, even close to 40 miles per hour, especially if we get a lot of mixing in the afternoon. A couple of mild nights Monday, same thing on Tuesday, and then we see the numbers dip a little bit, but we could see the temperatures climb back into the 70s by next weekend.
All right, well, thanks, Candice, and thanks for making us your home team. We'll see you at 10.